everyone. My name's Nicole Tounzen, and I'm 28 years old. I've been married to my husband, Corey, for 9 years in August. And for 7 to 9 years of my life, I was physically suffering. You can't tell it today, but I went through so many different symptoms. It started with symptoms of a cold and flu, and it just kind of progressed to having mono and Epstein-Barr virus, and just getting sicker and sicker. And about 4 years ago, it progressed quite a bit, and they thought I was having seizures. They thought I was having a stroke. I was having neurological problems that were they didn't understand why I was having them. I would go from ER to ER, hospital to hospital, and I'd be told anything from, it's all in your head, you're crazy, your husband is abusing you, and just, I mean, you couldn't believe it. I just want to laugh when I hear my husband's abusing me, if you know our relationship at all. And so we just went through a journey. And last year, end of winter, beginning of spring, the elders came to our house, and I'll never forget that day. They said, Nicole, this has been an attack on your life, and it's multifaceted, and we believe it's been hidden, but now this isn't just your fight, it's our fight too, because you're our family. And so, because this thing is touching you, it's touching us, and it's not allowed. They said, you know, we want to go after this on every front that we can, physical, with your health, with wellness, and obviously going to the doctor, and then spiritual, emotional, through freedom prayer and through different ministry time, prophetically, and healing. And so we just started going after it. One of the pastors called his friend and told him what was going on, and he said, please give me her number, because I think I know what's going on in her life. So I get a phone call, and he's like, tell me what's going on, and I'm explaining to him how I'm not able to sleep. There's medicines I can't take anymore that used to not affect me at all. I would have anaphylactic shock, basically. I wasn't able to wear perfume or makeup. I'm wearing makeup today. And there's different chemicals that I would have reactions to. I could not be around bleach. It almost made me pass out several times. So many different things that were going on, and he's like, yes, 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 yes. He's like, I think you have Lyme disease, and you need to find a doctor that will help you. And so I found Dr. Gray. He's a Lyme literate doctor, and just started testing. And I remember the day that we went, and I was with Pastor Tim Bays and one of the elders of our church, Eric Mullen, and I said, guys, is it okay if I'm excited? Like, is it okay that I'm excited I'm about to find out what's going on? They said, man, if I were going through what you were going through that long, I'd be excited to know what's going on too. And so tests come back, Lyme disease. So we started fighting even harder, because now we had a face to it. And I went to youth camp, June or July, and the youth started fighting for me and praying for me. And that night, you know, I was having a problem with hearing, like sounds. Anything too loud, I would have a reaction. And what I mean by reactions is I would have a neurological shutdown, where I would just kind of be frozen in my body, not able to move, not able to walk or do anything that I wanted to do. I was like a prisoner in my own body. And so they came and they prayed for me, and my dear friend Joanne came over and she picked me up and she started dancing with me. So I just threw out my earplugs, threw down my mask, and from that night, I didn't have to wear my earplugs anymore. I did have to wear my mask a few times. But God just kept on going with me through this journey, through this process. And just through freedom prayer, through wellness, through the body of grace. That's the power of my testimony, is that if it wasn't for Holly Wrights, Tim Bays, these people stepping up and saying, this is what my part is in this body, and so I'm going to bring it, I wouldn't be standing up here sharing my testimony today. And so moving forward, my mom gets up on the stage during worship one Sunday and she says, I just feel like God's saying, just in the same way that the walls of Jericho came crashing down, that Lyme disease is going to come crashing down in Nicole's life when we shout. And so she led everyone in a shout, and it was powerful. So each individual, not just the ministries, but each individual had a part in that healing. And so then we had a guest speaker come in, Aaron Tomlinson, and he said, you know, if you need prayer, you need healing, just line up, and I'm just going to touch you, because there were so many people, and they said, just receive. So he got in front of me, and he said, I'm not going to even touch you or pray for you, because you have your healing, and you're about to get a good report. Which he didn't know, but that Tuesday I was going to get my results. And so I get to the doctor, and he said, Nicole, I don't understand, but you have a health close to that of a marathon runner. And he's like, I don't understand that, because with Lyme disease, that's just impossible. And he's like, what can you attribute this to? And I said, God. And so I was able to share with him the process and the things that God's done in my life, and it just gave him so much hope and joy. Because there's not a lot of hope in the cases of Lyme disease. In fact, if you're not going through it with Jesus, there's a lot of suicides, because there's depression. And I went through depression. I never dealt with depression. It was unbelievable. But I stayed connected to the body. I stayed connected to God, and I didn't allow an offense to come between me and God. I was like, no, I'm determined to stay with you. I don't have to have my healing. I don't have to have the answers. I just need you. And so the heart of my testimony is this, is that we need you in the body, in the world. You're desperately needed, because if I didn't have those people around my life, then I wouldn't be up here sharing today.
Amen.